been a busy fucking day. So what was that guy's problem?
Not.
Okay, ma'am, if you could please tell us your name and spell your last name.
Fayana Moore, Moore.
Okay, so tell us what you heard and saw tonight.
Okay, so about less than an hour ago, I heard like a dog barking in distress. It wasn't an ordinary bark, and then I heard a very loud bang, and me and my mom were like frightened. We were like, "Oh my God, this is not an ordinary bang." But because we didn't hear anyone screaming out in pain or anything like that, we didn't really think much of it. We heard like maybe a scuffling noise afterwards after that bang, but that was about it.
And now we understand this happened on the 8th floor. Where were you?
4th floor.
And you can hear it all the way from down up there.
Yeah. We're very close to the balcony. You know, there's thin walls everywhere, so you can hear a lot of what's going on, a lot of arguments, everything in this building.
So what happened after that? You came outside and found the police?
Well, right after, shortly after, 5 minutes later, we heard sirens, and my mom was like, "Oh, it must be because of that loud bang." And, you know, time went by, and we just really didn't think anything of it. And then my sister comes back, and she's like, "Cops are everywhere, and there's tape around the building. Something bad had happened." And we're like, "It must be because of that bang that we heard."
Did it sound like a gunshot to you?
It... Honestly, I'm not even sure what a gunshot sounds like. I mean, I know from what movies sound like, but whatever that noise was frightening. Like my heart was jumping out of my chest.
That loud?
That loud, yeah. It sounded like almost, I don't know, it sounded like a dumpster truck or something. Like it was a
I can answer what
loud
that is.
bang.
Go ahead, man. And can you tell us your name?
Malika. Malaka. I don't know where to look.
That's okay. Look right at me. So, describe what you heard.
I didn't hear anything. I just heard what it was, and it was a lady who either jumped over the balcony or fell over the balcony. Okay. That was the loud thud sound that my sister's talking about.
Okay. And we understand that someone may be detained. Have you heard that?
No, I didn't.
Okay. So it sounds like maybe somebody was thrown over.
Yes.
Okay.
So there's like a large courtyard kind of in the middle.
And that's actually on my side of the apartment, so I can, if I go to my apartment now, I can probably see it from my balcony.
And that's what took place.
Yes.
Did you guys see anything? Like did you go out the window and see any commotion or anything going on downstairs?
No.
No, I actually did not. But if someone did fall, that would probably make more sense because I don't think if it is a gunshot, that to me is not how I think of a gunshot. It sounded like I said a big bang, like almost a garbage truck, and it could have very well been someone falling over onto something. But yeah, our balcony faces the courtyard, so that could have likely happened.
Just in case of mistakes.
Fayana, Fayana.
Thank you so much, man.
Moore, Moore. Malika, that's my sister.
What's her
Malaka.
Same listening?
Yes.
Thank you so much,
Thank
man.
you. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, sir, if you could, please tell us your name, spell your last name, and your position.
Lieutenant Anthony Dupree, Dupree. I'm a lieutenant of the San Diego PD Homicide Unit.
Thank you, sir. Can you tell us what's going on this afternoon?
Yeah, today at about 3:30, San Diego PD Communication received a call of a person possibly deceased at 1453 4th Avenue. The caller stated that he thought the person may have jumped from a floor up above. Officers arrived to this location and discovered the female was deceased, and medics were called. Medics arrived and confirmed the female was deceased. Homicide unit was called to the scene. out of abundance of caution, and we are currently investigating it at this point.
Are you investigating it as a homicide or as a suicide?
It's been investigated as suspicious death at this point.
And do you have anybody in custody?
No one's in custody, no one's under arrest. We're talking to several witnesses right now, but no one's in custody.
I've heard that there may be a person detained inside.
That's the person that we're talking to inside. He's cooperative, so at this point, he's just like a witness, and he's been treated as a witness at this point. No one's detained, no one's arrested.
Have you been able to ascertain if there was anyone else in the residence in question at the time when this woman fell from the 8th story?
Not at this point. It's too early in the investigation.
And this was from the 8th floor?
Correct.
And person landed on the ground floor or fourth
On the
floor?
on the ground floor, kind of like a courtyard that's inside this complex here.
Is there a playground area down there? I was hearing that there were a bunch of kids who may have witnessed this one.
That I don't know if a bunch of kids witnessed it. There is a playground area there, but I don't know if there were kids there that witnessed it.
What can you tell us about the female victim, like age range?
Right now, the female was, let's see if I can get you an age for the female. She's about 30, about 32 years old.
And she lives in that 4th floor apartment where she fell from the
She lives in that complex, probably on the 8th floor.
Who called? I'm sorry if that was repetitive, but who called it in?
One of the residents inside called. Actually, several residents called. Some below, some above. They saw the female down and called the police.
Have any of the people who witnessed anything given any indication that they believe that there's some sort of foul play involved with this?
Not at this point, but we're still going to investigate it as suspicious death. It could be just a suicide, but we're here, so we're going to investigate it and to determine that.
What's the abundance of caution? Why call in the homicide team to investigate it as is?
Well, the initial, some of the witnesses thought they heard some arguing, but no one heard anything specific to somebody being pushed or anything like that. So, and that's why they called the homicide unit.
At this point, have you guys looked into whether there's been calls or disturbance or anything like that made to that particular unit where this person lived?
We hadn't gotten that far in the investigation, but that will be one of the things we look at.
So you don't know if there's a history with this woman as far as San Diego police is concerned?
No, not at this point.
Any indication, again, just hearing from residents, said she may have been, had mental issues, anything of that nature?
That I don't know. Like I said, it's early on in this investigation. Those are aspects that we will look at.